to the Unleash Success Podcast, where we break down the secrets of success to give you real tools and strategies that get real results. And now, here's your host, Corpodian.
This is Corpodian. Welcome back to Unleash Success. If you guys haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, be sure to go to unleashsuccess.com and just enter your email so you can get all the tools and strategies sent directly to you each and every week. Today, we're going to talk about how to conquer fear, how to start that side hustle that you've really been wanting to do, or side business. You know, in the last several episodes, we've really gone over tons of different ways to start a side hustle, to start a business with, the guys Thomas Fiss and Jonathan Brown from Partnerly, or Nick Loper from the Side Hustle Show, or Steven Silva, who is from Top Rock Realty and has many side hustles as well. And I thought to myself, what's stopping all of us from starting our own side hustle? And I realized that the only thing that would stop us from wanting to make a little extra money on the side, doing something we're incredibly passionate about at the same time, would be fear. And so today we're going to jump into not only how to conquer fear, but also a step-by-step strategy so that you can start an online side hustle today. And then I actually want to offer you guys something that I've never done before, and let's see how it goes. But I want to give you a 30-day challenge. See, I believe people either give up or they step up. And when you're challenged, especially challenged for something that you want, people tend to step up. Oh, and by the way, there's a $500 grand prize to the person that creates the best side hustle in the next 30 days. That's right. It's a 30-day challenge. That's all, and $500. There's some rules that you got to do, but we'll get into that at the end of the show. For right now, I want to tackle something that honestly plagues us throughout life, and that's fear. And why is fear such a powerful emotion? Fear is designed to help us survive. If you are afraid you're going to die, then you move away from that fear and you survive. The problem is, especially if you're listening to this right now, the odds of you dying from being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger in the wilderness, pretty slim. But we have this mental and emotional fear that really stops us from accomplishing our goals. It stops us from taking action. It stops us from living the life that we want to live. Now, why is fear important? It helps us survive, true. But it also kind of tells us a little something about what we're uncomfortable with. You see, we fear what we're uncomfortable with. We want to get outside of our comfort zone to grow and earn all these things that we want to do, earn extra money on the side with a side hustle. And yet our bodies are telling us, hey, this is outside of our comfort zone. We can't do it. This is fear kicking in. And I know some of you guys are, well, like me, you're a go-getter, you're aggressive, you want to tackle the world, and you're like, fuck fear. I'm not afraid of shit. And maybe fear doesn't manifest itself like I'm afraid that I'm going to die. But maybe fear manifests itself as stress. I experience stress all the time. And for the longest time, I thought that was normal. That's part of life. That's part of business. But if you are stressed to the point where you're worrying about stuff, or you're anxious, or you're nervous, or you're not performing at your best level, well, then that fear that turned into stress, that turned into anxiety, actually is debilitating. And even worse, see, I think that when people set goals is that they're in the process of setting a goal, and in that moment, they either do one of two things. They either take action towards their goal, or they choose, and it's a choice. That's always confusing to people, but they really do choose distraction away from their goal. Now, why would you choose distraction? Fear. You're afraid of what's going to happen. Now, distraction comes in many different forms. It might be Netflix. It might be the NBA playoffs. It might be hanging out with family. Yeah, that's right. I mean, listen, if you're spending a lot of time with your family and your friends, and they're important. They're definitely important. But if you're spending a lot of time with them and you're not getting your stuff done, well, that's a distraction. I'm not saying get rid of family. I love family. You got to spend time. You got to make time for your family. But I can tell you this, anybody who's going to accomplish a lot, they typically have to pull back the reins of their social environment. They've got to, give up something. And typically that's going out and partying with friends on the weekends. But if you want something greater, you've got to give more of yourself. You got to give more effort and more time. You see, it's funny. We don't have more time than anybody else. The president of the United States, Oprah Winfrey, they all have 24 hours in a day. The question is, what do you do with those 24 hours? Are you putting in maximum effort? Are you really increasing the intensity with which you go after your goals? That's the difference. You see, if you put in a lousy amount of effort, you're going to get lousy results. And over a decade of time, that compounds, and that's why you don't have the results you want. If you spent 10 years of your life intensely focused, you wouldn't even recognize who you were 10 years ago. I know, because every 6 months, every year that I intensely focus on a single goal, I cannot believe how much I have accomplished. But it requires a sacrifice. It requires effort and intensity. So going back to fear, how do we conquer fear? Are you dealing with fear, or are you just negating it? Are you brushing it under the rug? See, fear will manifest itself in all different kinds of ways. Some people might have a drink to subdue the fear or the stress. Some people might go for a run, which might be a productive run, but still a distraction from their goals. Unless, of course, your goal is to lose weight. But we're talking about business. We're talking about creating a side hustle. Most people have a fear that says, I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I have no clue how to even start an online side hustle. Lucky for you today, we're going to go through a step-by-step process to get you started immediately, literally, if you want. In fact, I'm going to be doing it as well with you, but it could take about 24 hours. You could have everything set up to start selling a product. But most people say, I don't know how. And they live that belief. They believe so strongly that they don't know how, and that they can't find out how. Guys, Google, YouTube. Literally, you can find out how to do anything from tying a tie to, fly fishing, or how to build a rocket. Everything is available online if you only look for it. So that's what we got to cultivate, is a belief that says, you know what, as long as I'm resourceful enough, I can find a way to accomplish my goals. And see, fear might stop us in the beginning because it's trying to protect us from failure. And sometimes we got to get out of our comfort zone, physically and mentally. Recently I just did the Wim Hof workshop, and you have to go into a tub of ice that's got 200 pounds of ice, and it's literally about 32 degrees. I mean, it is freezing. You want to talk about fear in an ice bath? It's incredible. But using my focus, using my breathing, using the training, using the techniques, the strategy, I was able to sit in there for 2 minutes, and God, it was freezing. But at the same time, I survived. And in fact, it was such an awesome experience. I want to do it again. I love pushing my body outside my comfort zone. See, I've taken fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being uncomfortable, and I've turned it into something that's exciting. You see, I look at this and I said, you know what? Honestly, let's just be real with it, right? Fuck fear. Fuck fear. If you're afraid of something, the minute you think you're afraid of something, I always tell myself, I've got to go do it. If I'm afraid of, back in the day when I was looking for girls, if I was afraid to go and talk to a girl, fuck it. I got to go walk up and talk to her. If I'm afraid of jumping off that cliff, I don't even think about it. Before I know it, I'm already in the air jumping off the cliff. If I'm afraid of jumping in the ice bath, I don't want to think about how cold the ice bath is going to be. I jump in, I'm in, done, over. You see, if you take enough action, the fear will start to disappear. The problem is that people spend too much time in the zone of distraction. And guess what? In the zone of distraction is where your dreams go to die. Because while you're watching Netflix, your dreams, your goals, they're dying. While you're watching baseball or football, while you're playing video games, while you're hanging out and partying with your friends, your dreams are dying. Because if they're not growing, they're dying. And guess what, guys? If you are not where you want to be in life, don't complain about it if you're partying every weekend. Right now, I am hustling my ass off working on this podcast. Just to set all this up takes hours every single time. But I love it. I really, really do. And it's my passion. See, if you find something you're passionate about, that will drive you more than anything else. And if you can monetize it, oh, man, if you could make money doing what you love, that, I believe, is one of the keys to happiness. So talk about fear, conquering the fear. You got to acknowledge what the fear is. You got to accept it. But then you got to say, you know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. If I am willing to work my ass off, I can accomplish this. And you know what you got to say too? Is fear's a good thing. You know what? Fear means that I'm going to get outside my comfort zone. Fear means that I'm going to learn something new. Fear means I'm going to grow. And in that growth, that's where you're going to find happiness. I always feel outside of my comfort zone. That's where I'm most happy because I know I'm growing. I'm pushing myself to the limit and I'm experiencing life. So that's what fear is. You got to conquer it, take it over. Don't let it control you. And really, the best way to get over fear is not even to think about it and just take action. What action? Well, before we get into the step-by-step process of exactly what actions we want to take to start our side hustle, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step formula so you can do it exactly as you want. Before we get into that, we got to talk about leverage. What do I mean by leverage? I mean, what's going to make you actually follow through? Well, for one, I'm offering anybody who signs up for this challenge the chance to win $500. Damn. I didn't even really want to say $500, but it just came out. So it is $500, and that's a lot of money. I mean, I'm going to pay you, if you win, to make money with a side hustle. It's a win-win scenario. You know what really excites me about this is seeing all your guys' progress and actually doing it with you because I love the hustle. I love building a business. I love experiencing this, and I want to share it with you. So that's a little bit of leverage. But the other question is, why do you want to do this? And now we're really getting into the step-by-step, the nitty-gritty process of creating a side hustle, of creating a business for yourself to make money. So in order to do this, I want you actually guys to go to the website unleashsuccess.com/side hustle challenge. The link is in the show notes, but again, that's unleashsuccess.com/side hustle challenge. You're going to go there, you're going to enter in your email, and I'm going to give you a PDF workbook, which is going to outline exactly the steps that we're going to go through right now, with links so that you can easily access this stuff, with some information so you can fill it in, because writing it down is powerful. They've shown that when you write stuff down, when you take notes physically with handwriting, not just typing, that you actually will remember it more strongly. And we're trying to connect to this stuff so strongly that even in the face of failure, even in the face of fear, we will continue to push forward. That no matter what the obstacle is, we will go through it. We'll go around it, over it, under it, build a freaking door. I don't care. We will make our way past the obstacle. So in order to do that, step one is set a goal. Oh my God, Corey. I know this. Set a goal. How obvious. And yet, when I ask people what their goal is, it's so vague. They're not very clear. They don't really know what they want. I just want something else. I want freedom. I want to make money doing what I'm passionate about. Okay, I understand. But what are you passionate about? What is freedom to you? You know, I talked to some people who work the graveyard shift or the weekends, and to them, freedom is, I just want to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's freedom. And then the people who work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, look at the people who are working remotely and go, oh my God, I just want to work remotely. So you got to set the goal, and you got to be crystal clear on what you want. So if you want to create a side hustle that is, teaching people how to make videos or how to, create Snapchat geo filters or the best Instagram stories or, Facebook watch videos, whatever it is, whatever you want to do. It could be even, I read the Gary Vee book and the Good Dog Trainer at the Good Dog Trainer on Instagram went from making $30K a year to $600,000 plus a year, teaching people how to train their dogs. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. But you got to be very clear on exactly what it is. So for today, for instance, my clear goals are to go over how to get past fear, what leverage is, and how to use that leverage, which we're going to get to in a second here, more than just $500, because money doesn't drive everybody. And finally, the step-by-step process. See, my goal is to get you to actually make money in the next 30 days using your side hustle. So we set a goal, we get crystal clear on it, and then the second step is, why do you want it? Now, I know a lot of people talk about why. Why is so important. Simon Sinek wrote an entire book about it. But the truth is, if you don't know why you're doing something, when the going gets tough, you're just going to get going. You're not going to actually push through. You're going to stop. You see, when faced with failure, if you don't have a strong enough reason to continue, you'll just give up. So you want to really connect with your why. If creating a side hustle is, I just want to make more money so that I can have more money, it's not a very strong why. But if it's, I want to make more money so that I can pay for a vacation for my family in 6 months, because we haven't been on a vacation in 3 years, and I know that they really want to go to Hawaii and that they would love to go to Hawaii. And if I could give them that gift of taking them to Hawaii, it would be the happiest moment of my life. Well, shit, that's a pretty strong why. Maybe your why is different. Maybe it is make money. Maybe it's make money to buy a new car, to invest in a house, which I highly recommend doing. I think real estate's a great investment. Maybe it's to, you want to invest more in the business. You want to grow the business. You want to create ultimate freedom for yourself. Whatever it is, write it down. And it doesn't have to be one thing. It can be multiple things. But write down why you want it. Now, the third step is equally as important. You got to ask yourself one simple question. If I don't accomplish this, what will it cost me? People don't ask themselves that. They go, oh, you know what? I'll get to it someday. Someday is the death of your goals. You see, people love to manipulate time. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it someday. Have you ever said to yourself that I was going to get to it someday, and 5 years go by? And you're sitting there wondering, why didn't I do this earlier? You didn't look back or look ahead and say, you know what? If I don't do this right now, I'm not going to be happy with my life in 5 years. If I don't start this business right now, I'm not going to be happy with where I am in corporate America in 5 years, or in my sales job, or working at Walmart or Target, whatever it is for you. If you wait 5 years, that's when people, turn to drugs and alcohol. That's when people don't understand why they're so unhappy. Trust me, guys, I was in the same boat. 8 years I was depressed. I spent 10 years studying to be an orthodontist, and I woke up and I didn't even realize why I was there. I didn't realize that the things that I really wanted to do, by not doing them, I had so much regret. That's funny, because when people die on their deathbed, the biggest thing they regret is the things they didn't do, not the things they did. So don't regret not taking action. Don't regret not pursuing your dreams and goals. Step up. You can do this. But ask yourself, what's it going to cost you? Is it going to cost you your happiness, your marriage, your job, your freedom, your sense of adventure? What will it cost you? You know, I was thinking about this. I bet people always have FOMO. They have fear of missing out on partying, fear of missing out on Coachella or Stagecoach or whatever music festival you're trying to go to. And I always look at fear and I say, you know what? You got to flip the script. I have fear of not accomplishing my goals. And so I suggest you have fear of not accomplishing your goals. And instead of FOMO, that turns into like FONAYG, phonag, whatever. Y is silent. You get the point. So regardless of whether you want to be a filmmaker, maybe you want to sell purses online, maybe you want to open up a food truck in real life, maybe you want to just become an online entrepreneur, whatever it is, you've got to have an online presence. And that means social media and a website to drive traffic to you. See, even if you're brick and mortar, you want to be on social media. You want to be in a presence so people have ways to find you. The truth is, everyone's attention is on social media. People don't get their news from CNN and NBC as much as they do from Facebook these days, or Snapchat, or Instagram stories. We are always finding new ways. And if that's where our attention is, that's where you got to be. If you're running a business, if you want to create a side hustle, you got to be online. So, how do we set this up? If you guys have never set up a website before, I highly recommend Bluehost. Bluehost is what I've been using for years. I originally heard it from Pat Flynn from the Smart Passive Income. I think it is a fantastic service, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I have probably screwed up my website more times than I want to admit, and more times than I definitely should have. I've tried my own website several times. I've had other people build it. I've redone it several times. And every time you change one little line of code, which I don't code, so I have no idea what I'm doing, if you don't do it perfectly, you can ruin the whole site. And I have called Bluehost several times at all hours of the night, from 7 a.m. on a Saturday to 2 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and they answer. I might have to wait, but I get a physical person who walks me step by step through the process to fix it and get it done. I love being able to talk to real people instead of a computer system, and that is the single biggest reason that I will always recommend Bluehost. There's other places you can go to host it, but ultimately, I've really enjoyed that, and they've got a great deal. I mean, for like $3-4 a month, you can start hosting. You buy a website, and you got to pick a name for your website. So you buy a website, that's $12, and the hosting fee for them is $4. For $16, you're set up online. Now, how do you name your website? Everybody's got a website these days. Well, you've got the .coms, which is harder and harder to get. You're not going to get like hustle.com. Odds are it's unavailable. So there's some other ones, .net, .org, people hear. But recently, .co has become more popular. I personally like to throw an adjective in front of a word. For instance, success.com is very expensive. But unleashsuccess.com was much less expensive and more affordable for me. So I was able to buy that website. It just so happened to be that's what I wanted to buy, and it worked out. But there's been some other websites that I bought where, obviously you can use your own name, and that's probably going to be available, but use different words like new or first or master this, right? So if somebody wanted to create a mastery journal, maybe mastery journal is not the best one, but maybe newmasteryjournal.com is available. You got to get creative with it so you can get to those $12 price points. That's the whole key. Just keep typing in different things. Also, to GoDaddy is a great source to see it. But I do recommend buying through Bluehost because there is some problems when you buy through a different server where ultimately you have to wait 90 days or 120 days to switch it back over. It just creates issues. So your hosting website you want to go through. Bluehost is also great because it's got email provided for it. So you can set up all these different emails for anybody that you work with, or like me, independent contractors that I need to be able to set up with my email so that they can take care of everything. Okay, so once you get the website set up, There's also a link, by the way, in the PDF directly to Bluehost. It is an affiliate link, which we can go over another time, but basically I do earn a commission for it. It's at no extra cost to you, and I'm really only recommending stuff that I personally have used and verified. Now, go ahead, install WordPress onto your site. There's a bunch of different templates for WordPress. Some are free, some you have to pay for. Really, you want to look for a very easy fill in the blank type of template. We don't have to get too crazy with it. And in fact, for the longest time, I really just use landing pages. You can use leadpages.net, or actually ConvertKit is an amazing software tool that I use. And that is double. So I'm able to capture the emails from people, but I'm also able to create on ConvertKit a simple looking landing page. What is a landing page? A landing page is basically when somebody clicks on your website link, they're taken to that home page, that first page that you see. This page is typically, about you, about what your service or product is, but ultimately that is where they land. And so that's why it's called a landing page. You don't need an entire website to get people interested in your product. In fact, if you've ever clicked on a Facebook ad, most of the time those are just landing pages. It has a very brief description of the product or service that they want to offer, or free webinar or free ebook, whatever it is. And then it just has sign up, and then they send you an email. It's simple, but so effective. And really, connecting with people through email is super underestimated. After talking with Sam Parr, who's the founder of The Hustle, who has well over now 700,000 subscribers, single-handedly, he said the biggest thing that they are going after is email. Because with social media changing all the time, you don't want to be reliant for your business on that. Email is not reliant on that. And if you provide good content, people will open up your emails. So again, that's ConvertKit, which is able to provide landing pages and capture emails so you can communicate with anybody interested in your product. Okay, so this is the kind of the basic setup to get started with a side hustle. Now you can start a blog, you can write about, something. Now think about something that's important to you. It could be, maybe you're a martial arts teacher. Maybe you are a dog trainer. Maybe you plant gardens. Maybe you're a filmmaker. Maybe you're an athlete. There are so many different ways to monetize, but you've got to start documenting, what are you doing that's different? How do you do it? Why do you do it? And build an audience. Now, drive people to that landing page, offer them something free, offer them, a free ebook, or maybe a $10 or $20 course, so that they can learn more from you, but figure out what it is. Now, that goes back to setting the goal. What are you going to provide for other people? Now, I want to stop right now because I think one of the biggest things is online courses. And in fact, that's going to be a well over $100 billion industry. So a lot of people are online looking for information and are willing to pay for it, provided that you give enough value and that the price is right. So I got to imagine that if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, somewhere in your life, you've been really good at something. What is that one thing? I spent 10 years of my life studying to be an orthodontist. If I was passionate about it, I might create videos for how to be a better orthodontist. And in fact, I created an entire course. It made thousands of dollars simply on how to create better case conversion for doctors, dentists, and orthodontists. Unfortunately, I could have done better with it, and I could have revamped it, but I wasn't really passionate about it. And at the same time, the podcast started taking off, and I got busy and distracted with what was actually just more important to me. But find something that you're passionate about. I love doing the podcast. I love helping you guys out. I love learning from guests. And maybe this doesn't make as much money as the dental online course did, but I'm super passionate about it. And eventually, we can build an audience, we can build people, and we can create that side hustle to maximize it. So if you want to build a course, the one course that I recommend, now there's two that are out there really that are great platforms. And one is Udemy, udemy.com, and the other is teachable.com. Now, I'll have those links again in the PDF. Now, I like Teachable a lot. I found that the software is great. Plus, Udemy takes a bigger percentage of your course, and they really limit the price. Teachable is free, and you can pay for it if you want to actually lower the amount that they take. But try it out. Try it out for free. It's easy to use. You set up a nice landing page. You set up, payment, and they host the video, which is great because it costs money to host the video. So they host the videos on there, and then you can direct people from the landing page to your Teachable account. Now, how do you record an online video? Well, guess what, guys? Right now, I'm recording this through a microphone on my iPhone. With phone technology these days, you can record on your iPhone. If you want to get a bigger, nicer camera, you can spend, $500-$700, get something like a Canon T6i Rebel, which is what I use as well. But right now I'm using my iPhone. Simple as that. If you've got a phone, camera phone, you can create an online course. Now, there's also a program called ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow allows you to record your actual computer screen. This is important if you're, showing people how to set up an online course, for instance. So ScreenFlow for the Mac and then Camtasia for PC. I've never used Camtasia, but I've heard that's what we use. Now, if you want to create great sounding audio, the best thing that I can advise is to use the ATR 2100 microphone. For about $80 on Amazon Prime, this mic is legit. I use it every single time I travel. If I'm ever doing a podcast abroad, this is the best mic to carry around, and it's super affordable. So you've got the landing page. You've created a course about, underwater basket weaving or how to frame the best photo, how to create the best online videos, how to walk dogs better, whatever it is. You've created it. I'm really interested to see what you guys do create, so I'm excited. Be sure to sign up at unleashsuccess.com/side hustle challenge to be able to download the PDF, to get all these links, to be able to follow through. And now you're probably asking, okay, great. I've got the course, I've got the landing page, I've got all this stuff. What do I do now? Simple. You email your friends, you ask them to sign up, you ask them to share it, you share it to your social media following, they ask your friends to share it to their social media following, and go and try and network with people in real life. Tell them what you're doing. Also too, document the journey. And that's part of this challenge, is to document the journey to see what works, what doesn't work. You can even try Facebook ads. Facebook ads are so effective. It is a big learning curve, but really it's not that hard anymore. They're making it easier and easier to start to promote it. You can do that where you can link it directly to your landing page, which goes directly to your course, which then goes, if they sign up, you're making some money. So boom, you got a side hustle. You started something. Listen, if all these courses weren't exactly what you wanted, if you didn't want to go the online course route and you're looking for a side hustle, be sure to check out Nick Loper's episode number 26 on how to find a side hustle. We go into the courses a little bit, but we also go into all different things. I've started a ton of side hustles in my day, from Airbnb to, I just got signed up with merch by Amazon, to even this podcast is a side hustle. So there's so many different things you can do. Just go to unleashsuccess.com/side hustle challenge to get the workbook, get started. Once you get that PDF, you're going to be asked to go ahead and sign up for the Facebook group so that we can share our stories and successes and failures so we can all learn from each other. And then go follow me at Corpodian on Instagram, and tag a couple of your friends so that they can join in the fun too. This will be a great challenge. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a chance for you to win $500. So guys, that's it for today's episode. I look forward to seeing you next week, where we're going to be diving deep next couple weeks with one of the founders of Liquipel, which is a water-resistant technology for your phones and screens. We're going to be diving into a woman who is got this fantastic story and really understanding about meditation and awakening. And we're also going to be jumping in with some other entrepreneurs, people who have built real brick and mortar businesses. One of them has built, a box house out here in Orange County, which is this boxing phenomenon, really. And we're going to have some fun. So be sure to tune in, subscribe to the podcast. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed the show and learned something of value, the one ask that we have is please go subscribe. If you'd like to leave us a 5-star rating and review, that definitely helps us get our message out there. Because each week I'm going to interview amazing people, and I want to be able to give you more and more tools and strategies that get you real results. Feel free to connect with me on Facebook or Instagram at Corpodian, or just visit the website at unleashsuccess.com. Remember, knowing is not enough. Knowledge alone is not power. Action is. Because action is the only way to get the results you want in life and truly live the life of your dreams. So go take some action. Subscribe to the podcast and get ready to unleash success in you.